So here we have a few great poses that are going to help to release tension in the adductor muscles. There are these bunch of muscles that run down the inner thigh, an area that gets commonly tight in many people. You're just going to want to have a couple of blocks or something similar. So come and stand, feet comfortably wide, not too far. And then lean forwards and take your hands onto your blocks or whatever you've got there. Straighten out the legs as much as you can, lengthen your spine as much as you can. You can allow the toes to turn out a little bit here as we bend into one knee and then over to the other. Then as you keep going, you can potentially lengthen out your stance a little bit if that's feeling good. Just breathing nice and fully in and out through your nose. Just feeling that gentle stretch, hopefully gentle, down the inner thigh. Not too slow, but not too quick either. And trying to keep the spine nice and long, we're not really folding here. Just concentrating on that inner thigh of the lengthened leg. Good, and then coming back to center, that's a minute and a half there. You can continue for a little bit longer, or we could go over to one side. As we do that, we lower down. Come onto the toes, come onto the other heel. You can move the blocks, or maybe you don't need the blocks, you come onto fingertips. Flex the toes back towards you of that extended leg. Obviously, this pose does depend on ankle flexibility, hip mobility as well. So see how you go there. But this can provide a great stretch for the adductors, also the hamstrings. Just check in with this extended leg that you're not looking out the back of the knee. If it looks like you are, just bring a tiny little bend into it. Few more breaths here. If it's accessible to you, you could rock back. So you're bringing the heel down to the floor and just pausing there. A few breaths, maybe about 5. And if this pose isn't accessible to you, then just doing that first one is great. So nice and steady rocking forwards, coming up. We'll go over to the second side. And just finding your balance there on your toes. Remember to bring the toes back of that extended leg. Focusing on what you can feel, the sensations there. And we're not stretching as far as we possibly could go. Going maybe 70% of the way only. Staying there or rocking yourself back, coming onto the heel. Just another couple of breaths. And then slowly forwards and coming back up to the center. From here, spin yourself around. Take the hands to the floor and step the feet back. So we come to a downward facing dog. Press into the hands, slide the hips back so we lengthen out the spine. Don't need to get the heels to the floor. So keep pressing into the hands. We're going to keep the hips and the spine just where they are. But lift your right heel and then bring that knee out to the side. So we've got like a little frog leg in our dog. From here, come forward into plank with that frog leg and all the way down. From here, you can either make a little pillow with your hands, or if it's comfy, you can come up onto the forearms. Pausing here in this Sphinx type pose, one frog leg. If it's not comfortable on the inner knee here, grab yourself a blanket. And again, just breathing into what you can feel. And Monty wants to join in. If you want, you could straighten out that leg to the side if that feels good for you. Good. Bend that foot back in, closer towards the thigh. Bring the hands to the floor either side of your chest. Tuck the back toes. We're going to lift back the way we came, so through plank to down dog. Knee back under, and foot comes to the floor. Notice that difference side to side. And then second side. Let's just start where we began on that first side. Press into the hands, hips move back, spine stays long, and it stays there as you lift the back foot, the left foot this time. Take the knee to the side. Now come forwards to plank and lower down. Staying here for at least 5 long breaths, but I'd suggest a little bit longer than that. Wooden floor is not the most comfortable to be in this position in, so you might want to be using that blanket. Stay there for a little bit longer, or push the foot away to extend the leg all the way out. So if this area, the inner thigh, feels particularly tight, really tight for you, definitely go and get some massage. Myofascial release here helps a lot. We can do another class on that sometime. And I have a longer class where we can go into many more things. So from here, bring that foot in towards the thigh, hands either side of your chest, press up to your plank and your down dog. And then pop that foot back down. Float down onto the knees. Okay, one last thing to finish with here. Come over to a wall space. You could bring a blanket, cushion, or your mat, sit by it, and we're going to swing the legs up. And then just wriggle in as close as you comfortably can. You don't need to be flush to the wall or anything. And then take the legs out to the sides to a comfortable distance, as long as the feet are level. Relax everything else. So relax head, neck, shoulders, back, and hips. And start to relax the legs as well. Maybe they drop down a little bit further. Doesn't matter how far they go. This is a great, more passive type way to lengthen out these adductor muscles. A group of 5 muscles, so important in stabilizing our hips when we walk and run. So they do commonly get tight and build up trigger points. So I'm just going to take another couple of breaths. You might like to stay here quite a bit longer. You could even stay in this one up to 5 minutes. When you are ready to come out, use your hands to help lift the legs back to the center. Pausing there, and then rolling to one side before you come up nice and slow. Now, if this is an area you feel like you would like to work on more, there is so much more we can do. I have a longer class where we dive into a lot more ways to help release tension in the adductors, so I will put a link to that just below. I hope you enjoyed, and see you soon.